All right, well, let's move ourselves on to our main presentation for tonight. So tonight you get to have me for the entire evening. So hopefully that's a good thing. And tonight really is about micronation. It is a topic that is, I think, really important. And I think it's so important because often people miss the boat when it comes to how they should be developing their business and how they should be targeting and getting new leads and finding new clients and new customers. And so everyone here, I think, has probably heard the term niching, right? In fact, just drop a chat, an N into chat to tell me that at least you know what niching is, just so I know that we're in the right room here and we're starting at the right place. Excellent. All right. So yep. So most people should know what a niche is. And basically it is really just defining a particular target market for your goods and services. And there is an adage out there, and I hear this sometimes at networking, and I'm sure that none of you will ever say this, when people are asked, who's your ideal customer or who do you serve? And they say, well, everyone. But everyone really is not your customer. If you're focused on everyone, you're bound to end up with no one. It's just far too broad and far too general and vague for you to be able to target people. So really the key is being able to target quite specifically the sorts of clients that you want and to speak to them in a way that they really understand. And I've got some magic words that you need to hear to know whether you're on target with this tonight. So if you look out for the magic words, just keep an eye on it. There are two magic words. So I want you to look out for the two magic words. I'll probably tell you what they are, but just pay attention to it. But this is critical to understanding whether you're on the right path. So I do have a couple of slides to share. As I say, this is intended to be, so workshop style as well too. So I'm probably going to ask some questions as well. What I'd like is when I do ask questions is that you're happy to respond. So feel free to unmute yourself, put your hand up, drop something to chat so that I know that we're involved in this as well. And more importantly, that you're actually getting sort of some value out of this as well too. All right, so micro niching. We have Wally on the screen. So, and this is one of my favorite characters, searching for where's Wally. Who else loves those books there or used to love them as a teenager and or as a kid and won't admit to that right now? I have to say this afternoon, I found a where's Wally picture. I wasn't going to look for him, but I found myself for about half an hour looking for Wally. So I'll show you that in a minute. But this here is a really good depiction in terms of what typical marketing is really like. So we've got two scenarios in here. We've got a school of fish. So it's a large school of fish. And you have I don't know what it is, a kingfish or a trout or a salmon in to try and get a fish out of that school of fish. Only problem is there is a reason why fish, I suppose there are people that are schools as well too, but why fish swim in schools is that they present a large target, but as soon as a predator comes in to eat them, they just disperse and disperse around the predator, and often the predator gets no fish. As I'm looking for pictures like this today, I saw a picture of a shark that went into it's a video of a shark that went into a school of fish like that, got totally encased by the school of fish, but couldn't actually get one to eat. And the problem is the shark there was focusing on the whole school there. It wasn't doing what the fish on the right-hand side is doing and focusing on one single fish and going after that one fish. And I can tell you that a fish on the right, it's going to go home. Well, it already is home. It's in the ocean, but it's going to go home sort of quite, or not hungry. That other fish going after the school of fish is probably going to go home hungry. So marketing's a bit like that as well too. Business is a bit like that as well too. When people say that they serve everyone or everyone's a potential customer, then they're the fish that's going after the school. They're going in there and very quickly, the fish go everywhere and they end up catching nothing, which is why so often businesses have cash flow problems. They're always looking for leads, and that's the most common thing. They're always asking, how do I generate more leads? It's not that they need to generate more leads, because there's lots of leads there. It's about, how do I catch that one fish? How do I get that one client that's going to be the one that I can work with over the next day, week, over the next month? And then where can I get another fish that's like that fish as well too? And then where can I get another fish like that? So rather than looking at the big picture, it's how do we narrow it down to a very small picture? And if you pick off enough small fish, there's enough there for a meal. So, and it's I suppose it's a little counterintuitive, and it's a little frightening sometimes for people that are in business to think about cutting off all the other options and chasing that one fish. Because what if that fish gets away? Well, then you're going to go home hungry. But what if you spend all day chasing a whole school of fish and still not catching one? The result's the same. And it's more likely that you're going to get a feed if you chase that one thing. Let's put in another scenario, which I thought about today too, because someone else brought it up. You know, when you're out dating, it's been a long time since I have. You know, if you are chasing a whole horde of the opposite sex, or you're looking for a partner and you're hoping to entice one of them, you're probably going to get none of them. But if you focus your attention on one person, then it's likely that you're going to be engaging, interesting, and interested, and you're going to sort of start to develop some sort of relationship there. So much the same as clients and customers as well. All right, so I've got a little exercise for you now. So, actually, let me just put this on present mode so that we don't have any cheating going on. Present a view. There we go. All right. All sorts of screens are popping up here for me now. Enter full screen mode. All right. Hopefully you can still see that fish as a full screen there. Okay, great. Okay, this will be a familiar picture to some of you. This is a Where's Wally picture. So I'd like you to tell me, first one in the chat, or with your microphone open, tell me, where is Wally? He's our customer. Where is he? And before anyone asks, yes, Wally is in this picture. We haven't cropped him out.
He's in the middle from the top to the bottom and 1/3 in from the right, I think.
So
and
middle.
Back to the screen and he's turned around looking at it.
So is it by the stripy changing room and the umbrella?
It's there's the umbrella. And then to the right of it, there's a stripy windshield, and to the left, there's a green, and there's a blue one on the left.
Green. Oh, blue one over. No, that is not Wally.
That's not Wally, even though he's got a red and white striped top.
Even though he's got a red and white striped top. Shall I give you a bit of a clue?
Has he got a hat?
Wally always carries something with him. Yes, a hat, but he always carries something else as well.
No.
He carries a cane. So now all you have to do is look for a cane. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm not going to put you out of your misery just yet. But I'm going to ask you another question now. And that is, imagine this is your business. This is your marketplace now. So obviously a global marketplace is the whole globe. We've just narrowed it down to the beach, this beachfront. All right, Shanley, have you found
him?
Yeah, you have. All right, tell us, where is Wally?
Right in the very center of the screen, behind the green striped like banner thing.
100%. You get the Mars bar today. Well done. That's incredibly well done, because I can't imagine it sort of being that clear on the screen. So yes, smack bang in the middle of the screen, behind a green 4-paneled, barrier. Everyone see that now?
Good
No.
to see. I can see him, but it's like a blur.
He's
So
not
well
very
done.
clear, but
Yeah.
he's blurred. Can you actually
Yeah.
see? Oh, let me see if I can.
I wouldn't have seen him, even though I made it bigger. I still wouldn't have seen him.
Hang on, I've just moved the screen. I didn't want to.
Now I can see him.
Hang on, let me get back to where I was. Okay.
I can't see him there. Yeah.
Right, you should see a green dot on the screen.
Yeah.
That is where Wally is.
Wow. Really hard to see.
Very hard to see. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's probably a bit of a metaphor for some of our customers. They're as hard to see as that. But I'm going to take us out to a wider view now. So imagine this as your market. So this is beachgoers. So our market are people that love the sea, they love the beach, and as you can see, there are lots and lots of them. So how do you target into, think about products and services, how do you target into someone there, or an ideal group of people here? Well, I'm going to give you a bit of a process for that.
You've got your avatars.
Yep. So yes. So this is about finding avatars. So that's that work. But here's a little process, and I want to look at this in 2 levels. We're going to work on this particular diagram here. So if you've got a bit of paper, you might want to jot some things down, or a keyboard. But also at the same time, I want you to think about your business and overlay it on your business, and think about how you can apply the same process to your business. So the first one is, in this image here, there's lots and lots of things going on. They're all beachgoers, so that's something that all of these people have in common. They are beachgoers. But if we talk about a market, what is a sub-market in here, a subcategory of people, or a subgroup of people that are here? It's just
Suntan oil.
So let's hear some of those subgroups. Just unmute and yell them out.
Standing up.
Standing up. So get standing up people. Yep. What
Some
else?
people have got suntan oil on them.
Some people, you've got very good eyes, but yes, some people have got suntan oil on. But in fact, that's a really good observation, because there are some sunburnt people there as well. They don't have the suntan oil on. So yep, that's good. What else?
Children.
What was that, Leanne?
Teens,
And
teenagers.
Teenagers.
Oh,
Yes,
teenagers.
yes.
Oh.
Lots of teenagers in there. Yes, 100%. What else have we got?
Some people got hats on.
Some have got hats on. Yep.
Family.
Families. Yep. What about interests? What are some of the interests that you see in here?
Looking at the naked bodies.
running.
Yes, yes. So running, naked bodies. Yep. What else? What are the other interests?
Sailors.
Uh,
What was
People
that
who
one?
enjoy people that want to sail boats.
Sail
So
boats. Yes, so there are people sailing in there. Yeah, so that's probably a good one to pick up as well too. So there's lots of boats out there in the water. So if you think about it, we've narrowed it down from the whole group of people: men and women, children, teenagers, sunburnt, unsunburnt, and now we've got a group of people there that like water sports. So they're into water sports. And if you have a look at all the boats that are there, so they're the boaties. What sort of subcategories or what sort of groupings of boats are there on there?
Sailboats.
Sailboats,
Rowboats.
rowboats, yeah,
Motorboats.
what
Water skiing.
water skiing, yep. So there's all sorts of boats there. Let's just focus in on the yachts, the sailboats. What are the different sorts of sailboats there in terms of interests?
Some are alone and some are with other people.
So some are solo, some are with other people. Yep. What else? And let's just imagine your business. You're now starting to focus in on yachties. So what sort of yachties do we have here?
Rich and very rich.
Rich, very rich. Yep, indeed.
Is there
There's-
some inflatable ones?
There's an inflatable one. Yep, over the very left-hand side. Yep.
And one of them's got one sail and the other's got two sails.
1 and 2 sails. Yep, yep. And in fact, most of them are close to shore, except for the one that's right out on the horizon. You see that? So that's
Which is
that
a
one there.
motor. It looks like a motor one.
So that one there is well, could be have a motor, but it's an ocean going yacht.
Okay.
So now we've narrowed everything down from a beach scene with a whole lot of people there right up to this ocean going yacht. So so your business is a bit like that too in terms of how you're targeting. Now, how many ocean going yachts do you see there?
One.
All right.
Well, yeah, one little one, but that's not ocean going.
Yeah. So one ocean going boat. So let's imagine this. We're now going to focus on ocean going yachts for our business. That there is a niche. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So I'm going to serve that. All right. Tonight's session is about a micro niche. So now we're going to drill even deeper than that and think about ocean going. And so now some of these things are things that we can't actually see. And so often micro nichings are things that are not immediately obvious. We don't necessarily see it at first glance. We can deduce it and then we can confirm whether that's true or not. So ocean going yacht there, what is a subcategory of interest people groups that are in ocean going yachts?
Cruises.
Life belts.
Life belts, yep.
Thing as that round things.
Those rounds of life things. So yep. So things that rescue you when the
I love those technical expressions.
Male and female and old and young.
male and female, old and young, definitely. What about occupations on this boat?
Crew and passengers.
Crew and passengers, yep. And in fact, is it likely that a boat like that would have a navigator on it? If it's an ocean going yacht, it's definitely got some navigator on it.
Mhm.
So now we've got into the ocean going yacht and we're looking at navigators. So that's starting to get down to a bit of a micro niche. Let's niche it even further. What sort of navigators could you have on a yacht like this?
Professional and
Skipper.
Oh, what was that, Shanley?
A skipper.
A
The
skipper,
captain?
yep. So yes, the skipper could be the navigator and the skipper as well, 100%. Yep. But let's say they've got a dedicated navigator. So there's a couple of different categories there. You've got male and female. It could be a female navigator. So now we've just sort of got our niche down to just female navigators. We could go even niche than that too, to say, they're young or old, where are they from? But let's just work with our female navigators. Now, here's the thing now is to think about what sort of problem does a female navigator have when they're navigating rough seas at night and the equipment fails?
They don't know where they are.
They don't know where they are, so that's a real problem.
Well, if they're a qualified navigator, they'd be able to navigate by the stars.
Aha. Okay. So now we're dealing with a solution to that problem. So and if you think about these days, so often people are relying on technology, but there are things that go wrong. So and so if you think about your business and the things that potentially could go wrong with your potential clients that they're not aware of, or that maybe you're not aware of, that you could focus in on. So in this particular one here, Peter's sort of mentioned it there, how do you navigate by the stars? Now, I guarantee you there's a whole subset of people out there that that wouldn't be interested in that because they've got all of the tools that are available to them. But if you've been in rough weather and you've had dodgy equipment or something's failed, at that point there, you wish that you knew how to navigate by the stars. Mm. So there's a specific problem for a specific group of people. Navigating by the stars for female navigators on ocean-going yachts. So you're really sort of drilling down quite specific, and then you can go even further too by thinking about what sort of equipment do they need, what sort of training do they need to help with all that there. So it's very, very niche, very specific. Are there many people in that category, do you think?
No.
No.
Limited number.
Comparatively, there probably isn't. But do you think there would be 100 people in that category across the world?
Easily.
Easily. Yep. In fact, if it was, say, Australia or New Zealand, would there be 100 people in that category in Australia or New Zealand?
Yes.
Yeah. So how many clients or customers do you need in order to make your business profitable and successful?
Depends on what you're selling them. If you're selling them a chronometer, then you want as many as possible. I mean, it's not.
You do want as many as possible, but that there's a question there for you to ask yourself to think about: how many customers or clients do you need to be profitable and successful in terms of what you do? So we've narrowed the market down from probably, I don't know, is there 1,000 people on the speech? Probably across the edges there, down to sort of, let's say 100 people, across the country. And there's only one person on the beach there that probably fulfills this category, one, maybe two. So we've narrowed it right down. Now, if someone wants to learn navigating by the stars using a chronometer or a sextant, you have the specific skills to be able to do that. Versus, and someone's been in a storm or knows someone's been in a storm and wants to learn the skill, you think they're more likely to come and learn from you that knows that, or from a general navigation school. So that's what a specific niche is they can identify you're the expert in this particular area here. Does that make sense? Now, it's probably a fairly extreme example in here, with a bit of fun with Wally in there as well too. But now overlay that over your own business and think about, what you do and go through that same process. And probably the best place to start with it is your existing customers. Have a look at your existing customers and have a look at what are the common characteristics that they have. So, and start wide. And so, if your customers probably all have one common characteristic, which is why they're your customers. They need help with a particular issue. It might be that they need presentation help, or they need a VA. So that's a wide, broad thing. So then ask the question: what's a subcategory of people within my current customer base? And so list those subcategories out. So you might find you've got 10, 15 subcategories in there. Pick one of them and drill down again and say, what are the common characteristics of this group of people here? And so you want to go down at least 7 levels deep. So you get down to 7 levels deep. Now you're starting to get to something that's really quite specific that you can be a really sort of micro niche into. Now, for those of you who are thinking, but what about if I niche down too far, there's not enough customers for me, or I'm saying no to a whole lot of people out there that, potentially have got money for me. I'm going to address that shortly. So just hang on to that thought there. But 7 levels deep, what do they share in common? And if you're wondering about, what it is that they share in common, think about this. You've got the broad thing about what they've come to you for, your industry. So like if you're an accountant, they need accounting advice. That's a really broad area. And then other questions to overlay on top of that as well too. So what are their demographics? Where are they located? Where are most of your people located? Are they global? Are they in a specific, state or are they sort of quite local? Some of the things there, like psychographics, what's the age, values, fears, motivations. That's where you get down to a niche as opposed to not micro niche, but still do that. So you're starting to get the commonality there. And then think about what are their specific problems. Now this becomes really interesting. If you can think about the specific problems that people have that you're able to solve, or maybe you can't solve them, that's a good place to be as well. So, and when I'm talking about specific problems, this is not problems that you think they have. This is problems that they tell you that they've got, and you hear it in their language as well. So listen, and you'll hear these things, when people are offering up, say, objections for not going with you, that there will give you a specific problem. Or testimonials are also another way, in terms of what you did for them and how grateful or happy they are with what you've done. That'll also identify specific problems. But even listen to, and this is probably an even better place to get it, people that are not yet your customers, that are asking you questions. What are the questions they're asking you? In those questions are the specific problems and issues that I've got. So listen out for things that you hear over and over and over again with your current customers and with new customers that or potential customers. Does that make sense? And then think about, what they buy and use. What are the other products that they buy or use? That they might be ones that are yours or other people's. What's their behavior? How do they act? How do they behave? Where do they hang out? What's their lifestyle choices? Employment, business income, family, age and stage, hobbies and interests. Pet peeves. Peeves is a good one. What really annoys them and really frustrates them? Look for those sort of things. Peeves and disliked. But the important thing here is keep asking questions. Just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and asking questions. So that diagram on the right-hand side, the reason why it's all overlapping is this is one that ChatGPT did for me because I couldn't find an appropriate diagram. And then I did, and I tried to upload it to Canva, and Canva was broken today, so I couldn't get it up there. But this is all I did was to ask ChatGPT to create a Venn diagram for me based on all of these characteristics. So what I'm looking for is the central point there, which is the sweet spot where there is an overlap between all of these circles right in the middle. If you get an overlap of all of these characteristics of people, that is a micro niche. It needs to be more than 3. It needs to be at least 7. Ideally, if you've got more than that, then you're really sort of getting quite granular and quite fine with it. Any questions at all? Does that sort of make sense? Okay. Here's a prompt. Someone was asking for AI as well. So ChatGPT is a great tool to help you, or some of these AI tools. But just remember these prompts, they may not get you the right answer. It'll get you closer to it. And then you might want to refine it even further. So the conversations I have in ChatGPT are often quite long as I refine it down. So this prompt here, and this is for hyper micro niching, is I operate in, put your industry name in. I operate in accounting, or in the accounting space, and I want to find a highly specific underserved micro niche. Underserved is the important, not many people are in it, serving that particular problem, that particular client. My ideal audience is, and you label your specific group. So that's where the work that you did earlier about defining them down to a specific group, pop that in there. Their biggest struggle and pain point. Traditional solutions don't work for them because of some particular unique constraint. They don't have access to the internet. That's a constraint. They don't have access. They've got limited funds. That's a constraint. They're short of time. That's a constraint. So I want to serve them differently by, whatever your unique approach is. So that's where you put your unique approach in. Please generate 5 hyper-specific micro niche business ideas that fit this criteria, each with a unique offer and monetization strategy. So this is a pretty broad prompt to get you to help to narrow it down. You're getting 5 ideas. And now, if you want these prompts to be able to use it, I'll give this to you at the end of the session. I'll give you a link for it at the end of the session. And so I've got an example here that I did for accountants, and this one was for accountants that wanted to work with coaches, and it was to try and get something that was super niche for them. So this particular one is the niches. And this is what came out of ChatGPT. So just remember, this is just raw out of ChatGPT. Now it needs some refinement. But helping spiritual coaches and manifestation coaches and energy healers price and sell premium retreats and transformational experiences instead of low-ticket services. Is that quite specific? Are there lots of coaches, manifestation coaches, and energy healers around? Well, certainly in my universe, there's lots and lots of them. And do they often sort of, find themselves selling low ticket stuff. You know, they're not making enough money. So that's the niche or the market that's come up with. So why this works is most spiritual coaches charge about $50 to $150 per session. They struggle with low paying clients. Retreats, VIP mentorships, and mastermind experiences. So these are all things that they offer. I know they do because I get all their emails and I get all the DM messages that come through. High value offers, but many spiritual coaches don't know how to price and position them. So, and this method helps them build a scalable revenue model based on sort of higher ticket experiences. And it could be for a whole host of reasons in there. What I'll be digging into now is why don't they know how to price or position them? So it could be sort of that lack of confidence. It could be that they don't know how to read their spreadsheet, read their cash flow or their financial statements. Could be a whole lot of reasons in there. So you'd want to sort of dig into that a bit further. So and so it just goes on further with a particular spiritual coach profit formula teaches them to price based on the transformation. So having a transformation, they're paying for the transformation, not hour by hour. A done for you retreat strategy, how to sell premium spiritual experiences, and automatic pricing and enrollment system. So some sort of client onboarding process that is automated that helps them. So it's just giving some suggestions around that. So this is raw out of ChatGPT. So can you see that it's now started, you're starting to get something you can flesh out in terms of validating, is this a market that's worth going after? Because you want to go after a market that's got money, that's got a problem, that's also got money as well. But if you're an accountant that worked with spiritual coaches, manifestation coaches, and energy healers, and that's what you marketed out, what do you think your client base is probably going to primarily consist of in the next 12 months' time? Probably it'll be those people there, particularly if you're messaging around all that there. The good thing about getting hyper niched about this as well too is that you're not having to learn new information for different industries. So if you're dealing with, say, spiritual coaches, you get to know everything about the finances of spiritual coaches. You're not mixing it in with sort of spiritual coaches, with authors, with tradies, financial advisors and mortgage brokers. Your knowledge is being concentrated in one particular area, which very quickly makes you to be an expert. So you really get expert status quite quickly. So that's just an example. Just try that out in ChatGPT for your organization and see what comes out for you as well. But do all that pre-work first, where you're looking for the commonalities with your existing clients. Now I'm going to give you some real life examples of quite niche businesses, and some of these exist. I'm just looking for, is Anita Fletcher on the call here at the moment? She was registered. Are you here, Anita? Just let me know if you are. No, I don't think she is. All right. So the first one here is standoutmedicalcareers.com.au. What do you think she deals with? In chat or unmute. Standout Medical Careers. What do you think her business is?
HR in the medical industry.
HR in the medical industry, 100%. In fact, what she does, she's a coach for doctors and people in the medical industry, helping them to land their perfect position. Does she work with mortgage brokers? No, she doesn't. Would a mortgage broker go to her? Probably not. But if you're a doctor coming in from overseas, wanting a placement in Australia, is this a good place to go? Would this be, one of your first ports of call? Probably would be, rather than general recruitment agencies, because she's only dealing with medical. There's another one here called the Pet, and these websites, if you go to these websites, you'll see how they've structured it as well too, and that they are specialists as well. One here called the petkarma.com. Some of you might know Ron. He's been on the show a few times. He has got remedies for anxious pets. Is that a very specific niche? Who here's got an anxious pet? And I'm not talking about your partner. So, but there are dogs and cats out there that have anxiety, and so that's what he deals with. He's got what do you call it? Homeopathics for it. He's got music for them. He's got remedies for animals that are anxious and a process to help calm them as well too. Very specific. The headshot guys, Brad Delaney, he's been here as well too. So what do you think he does? Or what
Photography.
He's a photographer, yes, but he only does headshots. A little secret, he doesn't just do headshots. He markets for headshots, but he does surf shots as well too, and he does sort of lifestyle shots. He does other sort of shots as well. This here is the tip of the arrow. This is how he gets people in, is with the headshots. He doesn't necessarily turn away some of the other work, but headshots is where he makes his money. That's what he's known for. So if you want a corporate headshot, who do you go to? Someone like him, or just a general photographer? Would you go to a wedding photographer to get your headshot? Probably not. Probably not. So he's the guy for that. Law firm mentor, that is a woman that only deals with law firms for mentoring. I'm not quite sure what she mentors, but that's what it is. Here's one of my favorites. slowafrunclub.com. You can imagine what the AF stands for. So Slow AF Run Club. He was a big guy and he wanted to lose weight, and he ended up running. And what he discovered was there's a whole lot of other big people out there that wanted to lose weight as well. They may or may not have been interested in running, but this was a vehicle to get there. They didn't want to win races. They didn't want to sort of run with skinny people that run really fast. They didn't want any of that sort of stuff. They wanted a community to lose weight. And so he's got this Slow AF Run Club. Guess what size people are that go along to that? They're all big people. But so he's captured quite a specific niche. How many other sort of run clubs do you think are out there for big people? He's probably in a category of one. There's probably no others there. So he dominates that category. He's the guy who you go to if you're big and you want to lose weight and you're happy to do it running. He's carved out a really good niche. Lefties, left-handed. So that one there, they only sold left-handed tools. So another specific category. Any lefties here? Okay, there you go. There's the place to go. So lefties, left-handed. They've got everything for you, from guitars through to left-handed hammers. Oh no, do they have left-handed hammers? The next one down is the Middle Finger Project. So what do you imagine that business is? It's a woman. Yes, that's it, Kel. It's a woman who's a coach, and she is a coach for women who just want to give the middle finger to anyone that also wants to tell them what to do and conforming to society's norms. Do you think she's got a good following? She's got a great following out there of people there that are sort of ready to give the middle finger to what people think they should, or to what other people think women should be doing and who they should be. So very sort of specific one there. Untuckit.com. That is for blokes that like to have their shirts untucked. There is a clothing shop out there full of shirts for untucked people, so you don't look like just a scraggly mess with it and you've gotten out of bed and forgotten to tuck your shirt in. These ones are designer untucked shirts. Handtoolschool.net. That one there is a school teaching people how to use old-fashioned hand tools. Not power tools, old-fashioned hand tools. So again, that's a very niche market as well too. You have to be really interested in that to be part of it. He's got a good following in that. Lilies.net.au. The name of that doesn't give away what it is. They are in Melbourne and they're a pram washing service. Pram is in baby prams.
Wow.
How niche could you get for that there? They don't wash cars. They don't wash dogs. They wash prams. So, you've got a kid that's vomited and diarrheaed in the pram. You don't want to do it. Call Lilies. They'll sort it out for you. And Splose.com. Oh, that one there, accounting software for the health sector practice managers. So very specific. So healthcare practice managers software. So there's an example of some very niche businesses. So when you think about your business, forgetting about the fear of cutting out all of the other niches or the other customers out there, are you starting to get an understanding of maybe where you could create a micro niche for yourself? Or maybe some ideas that you want to throw out, if you're bold enough to do it? Or is the mind just racing, sort of thinking of these? I know there's some people here that have got some sort of some niche ideas as well too. Like, is it David Fisher? He's got a very good niche idea. So his niche idea there is he's working with people that are, I was going to say retired, but that's apparently a banned word. People that are selling their business and moving on to what's next. So he's got a definite demographic. People in probably 50s, 60s, 70s, that sort of age group, right, David? And they're looking for purpose in life after they've sold their business or moved on from the business. Very quite specific. So think about your niche and how you can apply this. And what's really important with this is that you create a pitch for it as well too, so that people utter the 2 magic words that are coming up very soon that you want to hear all the time. If you want a really good book that it helps you with that, this one here is an excellent book, Key Person of Influence. And that's Daniel Priestley. He's up in, I think he was a Queensland guy, but and he gives away these books for free, by the way, too. So if you just look for Key Person of Influence, subscribe to his stuff, he'll give you that. In that book there, he's got the perfect method for creating a pitch. If you want to know how I did mine, I've got a PDF copy of his book. I uploaded it to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to create me a pitch for my business based on the formula that was in the book. It read his entire book, obviously, because it's an AI tool, and it's crafted the ideas that I put into it into the pitch that I created. But it's using this sort of framework here. So I'll give you an idea. Here's the one that came out for me, and I used this really quite recently at a networking group, and I got the magic words came out, the exact response that I want. So I help business owners attract high quality leads and convert them into paying clients without burning cash on ads or wasting time on pointless social media. So using proven lead generation strategies, automation, and strategic content marketing, they help them to double their inbound leads in 90 days, even if they aren't tech savvy. So this creates a predictable, steady flow of ideal clients, allowing them to focus on growing their business instead of struggling with marketing. Is that quite specific? Yep. Thumbs up there. Very specific. I went into a meeting, and as soon as I did that, so it's a 40-second pitch or a 45-second pitch, 2 people said, "Have you got a business card?" So immediately, so that resonated with them. Another person said these 2 magic words, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. And another one, who's a bookkeeper, said to me, "I need you to come in and talk to my clients because this is exactly what they need." So I've got people who want to speak to me as a client. I've got a potential referral partner out of it who wants to introduce me to the clients, and I've got potential business in that room there. Was I selling anything? Was there any sale? There's no sale in there at all. All I'm doing is I've got something very specific, a very specific pitch. Now in this particular one, I haven't mentioned any specific type of businesses. I've just said business owners. Now I can craft this down to be quite specific, to say something like, I help mortgage brokers attract high quality leads, convert them into paying clients, etc. How much more specific is that? If you're a mortgage broker sitting in that room, would your ears prick up for that? Or whatever the occupation is. So you can start to craft this down and hone it down to be quite specific. And you can have a number of these as well too. So you don't need just one. You can have one for each different client set that you work for. So if you work with mortgage brokers, and you also work with finance brokers, and you also work with accountants, and you also work with bookkeepers, you can replace the I help business owners with the specific occupation, or the specific industry. Which is going to lead us on to the next secret about micro niching as well too. And when you have got a specific micro niche, you can now craft content that deals with the very questions that they're asking, the doubts and fears they have. Remember, we talked about right at the very beginning about how when you're sort of trying to find out who your sub niche is, find out what the questions they're asking for. Now you can answer those questions, or their pain points, or the problems that they've got, or the things that really, sort of peeve them. You can start to create content that deals specifically with that problem. And by doing that, if you're able to create content that deals with questions that people have that they haven't voiced, it's in their heads, or things they're thinking about, you don't even need to tell them the answer. They will think you already know the answer, because they're going to sort of think that you're talking specifically to them. These are the magic words. If you hear someone say after you've spoken, "That's me," those are the words you want to hear. Now, I can give an example of that. I was on a Zoom call with someone, it was a couple of weeks ago, and what happened to be sort of talking around this concept here. And I was showing her, I was showing her something on my website. So I had the Zoom screen on, the share screen was on, and I was going to navigate to an inner page of my website. Obviously, when I brought up my website, it's the home page that shows first. And she read the home page, just what was above the fold, and she said, "Oh, that's me." So imagine what I'm feeling now. It's exactly the words that you want to hear. And if you want to know what my homepage says, it sort of echoes what that pitch was, and it should be your pitch. I help non-techie, overworked, underpaid entrepreneurs and business owners halve their work time and double their income by these 3 particular points. And you know what? The word she honed in on was non-techie. She said, "That's me." And she said, "Yes, I'm working too hard trying to understand all of the social media stuff and all the marketing stuff. I'm not getting paid enough yet. How can you help me?" So the magic words, commit these to memory, listen to them. That's me. You want to hear those words. That's when you know you're on message. And you'll only get that if you're working in a micro niche. You won't get that if you're working with a general population of people. You'll only get it with a very specific group of people. To answer your question about if I focus in too narrowly into a specific group of people, am I not going to miss out on all the other income that's out there, all the other potential customers? That's the number one fear that comes out from people when I talk about micro niching. And the traditional way of marketing business is that arrow from left to right. So this is a prism, and if you put white light into a prism, then it separates all the colors of the spectrum out into the 7, whatever it's of 7 colors of the rainbow. So, but the traditional business model is to try and target everything. So the white light, what micro niching is, it's going the other direction. So it is focusing in on just the red people. So just the ones that are colored red. You master that. It's almost like doing an apprenticeship. So what you're looking for is their pain points, their problems, the characteristics they share in common, the issues they have, what they're saying, and you're getting to know that so well that you can articulate it better than they can, and even before they voice it. And then once you've mastered that, then you can go to the orange people, and it's just the same process again. And then you go to the yellow people, it's the same process again. So you can have multiple different micro niches, which get you the result of covering a wide group of people. So you are serving a very wide group of people, except your starting point is different. Instead of the shotgun approach where you try and capture all the people straight off the bat and get no one, if you come in the other way and just focus on these micro niches, you will get you'll grow your business quicker. You'll get sort of more traction with smaller groups of people. You don't have to waste your time on sort of lots of marketing, which is scattergun marketing, and you can really focus in on the things that really matter for people. If you can do that, then you can easily focus, after even 3 months, you get good in a niche in 3 months, you can bring on another sub niche in the next 3 months. So photography, you can focus on headshots. You can focus, so master that, get your messaging out for that there. So you're attracting clients. Then you can, and it could be a different website. It could be a separate website. In fact, I'd probably recommend it is a separate website. You could then market to actors and people needing sort of shots for acting. It's different to headshots. They want full body shots, different style. So you can focus in on that. So now you become the headshot specialist, and you become the acting specialist as well too. Two separate websites, but you've got two separate, but you've got two niches of people, micro niches, and then you go and focus in on, I don't know, baby shots, whatever it is. So there's lots of different markets or sub niches that are available to you. Does that make sense? And what you're aiming to be is the only one in your category. You're in a category of one. There are no other people that do what you do. No other businesses that do what you do. I was having a look at conferences for accountants today. And this is just based on the bookkeeper that said that I need you to come and talk to my clients. So I'm thinking, okay, there's something in here. How do we get into people that organise conferences for bookkeepers and accountants? You know what I found? There were thousands and thousands of accountants and bookkeepers out there. You know what their websites look like? They all look the same. So they are in a category of many. How do you compete in a category of many? How do people choose a bookkeeper who looks like the other bookkeeper that looks like the other bookkeeper? So how do you get into be a category of one there, so that so that you do stand out? So you might do bookkeeping for what was one that I saw? There was a specific industry. I'd like to say trades, but it's not, because everyone's a tradies bookkeeper. But it was one specific industry. Let's just call it.
The film industry is a good one.
The film industry. Oh yes, it was. Thank you, Chris. It was the film industry.
Oh right.
Yeah, we went along to, Jenny and I went to the ACTA Awards, which is the Australian Screen and Television Awards. We actually didn't get on the red carpet, but we went to the festival around it, and there was a session there run by an accountant for accountants in the filmmaking industry.
Yeah,
that there is a category of one. So who'd have thought that that you could be that specialised in that? And these accountant, well, she was an accountant on set, so she had to be on set, and they're doing things like budget costings on set, making sure things are running to time and budget and all that sort of thing. There, category of one. So how can you do that in your industry so that you stand out? And she's got no competition, nothing. No one else is in there competing for her. They're competing in the black masses there. She's the only one. And she gets referred from job to job to job to job to job because she is the accountant that hangs out on set. The other thing too is to think about, look for the gatekeepers. Who are the gatekeepers? Now, gatekeepers are people who have your clients that want to bring you in to introduce them to the clients. So they're like that bookkeeper that handed me her card and said, I need to have a conversation with you. You need to come and talk to my clients. So how much easier is it to get to, sort of a whole host of business clients when you've got the gatekeeper on your side? So look for those gatekeepers and make friends with them. What you definitely do not pitch them. You want to sort of look at how can you make them feel good? Who can you introduce them to? What can you do for free for them? How can you help them? And absolutely no pitching, products or services. The one thing that'll put them off is if you start pitching. Be helpful. So that's the gatekeepers. And the next one is be the trusted guide to people that are potentially your clients. So the ones that have sought you out are the ones that have been looking at all of your content that contact you. Again, what can you do to make them feel good? Who can you introduce them to? What can you do for free for them? How can you help them? Absolutely no pitching for products and services. So the very first thing you don't do is pitch your products and services, which I see so many people doing. You will at some point, but you're looking at how can you help them right now. So when you're looking for the gatekeepers and to be the trusted guide for potential clients, same questions. Because you want to be seen as the person that is helpful, not the person who's always trying to sell stuff. the sales will come quite naturally, particularly if you're in a category of one. Any questions at all? That's the end. But yeah, questions, comments, helpful, unhelpful. Where is this taking you?
Really good, Nick. Really enjoyed the session.
Yeah.
I do have quite a small niche or a micro niche for my clients, but the trouble I have is with probably the gatekeepers and the getting into the places where my clients hang out and
Yep.
and getting seen. So yeah, do you have any advice on that?
Who are the gatekeepers for your
So for example,
sort of industry?
the Cancer Society might be a gatekeeper because people with terminal illness might be looking to save their stories. Retirement village organisations,
Yep.
places like that. I do get into some of those, but there's a couple of the bigger ones here in New Zealand that have kind of a policy that doesn't really allow you in.
Yep.
Which is very frustrating. So it's just getting in through that initial gate to find those people who I know are there and need my services.
So yeah, so you're probably not going to get through, organisations that got policies and procedures to keep you out. You're not going to get through the front door. You've got to find the back door or a side door. And that's really identifying who are the people in there that make the decisions that you could help in some other way, shape or form, which is where you're not pitching your services. So, and it can be sort of things that are simple as, do they do any fundraising drives?
Okay.
How can you help them there? So even if it's just volunteering there, even if it's you're able to help them to get people to help them with that.
Yep. I do that for a few places, and I volunteer at hospice.
Yeah.
Things like that. But some more connections that way would probably be a good idea.
And a lot of it is that relationship building with them. And that's really where you sort of get to it as well. And I think you've got a really good product. I mean, you've got a really good product in terms of what you do. And I'm not quite sure how you share that out, like in terms of, for some of it's quite private, just amongst the family. So
it's
maybe
hard to share real stories. I get snippets that I can share sometimes, but not many actual stories of like the emotive stuff that families want to keep obviously for themselves, and that's the stuff that people want to see. So
what's the business?
What's your business, Nicola?
Moving Memories. So I create life story video documentaries for people so that stories and memories are saved within the family to pass on to future generations. So and I have recently been working with terminal patients and saving their stories, which has been really, really rewarding, hard going, but really rewarding.
Can you hang out in hospital cafeterias?
It's funny actually. I did the other day. I walked past a cafeteria table of all these grey-headed ladies, and I was just so tempted to just throw my card on the table, but I didn't.
Yeah, I would definitely start there.
Okay. Good tip. Thank you.
The other thing you might think about too is recording the stories of people that are around the stories that you write about. So you're not recording the stories of the people that you're filming. You're recording the impact that had on the wider family, because the people you're talking to are ones that are going to be that wider family, want to capture the memories and the nurses and whatever. So you want to sort of capture that there, so you can talk about the feelings that and what happened in all that as well.
Right. So like the grandkids and so on.
Yeah.
Are you there, Nick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Nicola. A fellow Wellingtonian here, although I've been in Brisbane for the last 30 years. I used to work in the trustee industry some time ago and targeting at a similar sector in terms of aged care. We used to sponsor morning teas and go and talk about wills, estate planning, enduring powers of attorney. And aged care facilities, as you know, the residents love turning up for a free morning tea. That might cost you a few dollars, and advertising perhaps in their particular newsletters might get you in front of them. So will you give a presentation, and as I say, you sponsor a morning tea, might get you there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do a presentation at retirement villages that I call a story sharing workshop. So they come along. I don't do a morning tea, but I get them to work together and share stories with each other. But I like the idea of a morning tea. It would attract some people. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Something else I became aware of, a friend of mine over here, he organised for his grandmother and other people who are residents in aged care facilities to write a short story about their life, or perhaps a learning, a wisdom that they'd picked up, and they published that as a book. I know that's not quite where you're coming from, but
yeah, no, it's a video version of a
video, yeah,
life
absolutely.
stories rather than a written. But yeah, that's I've done some work with a guy who had already done his written version, but his family wanted a sort of short version in video format. So yeah, it can be both. People sometimes do both.
And just as a final comment, my mum was a resident at Malvina Major, which I'm sure you know of.
That's one of the ones I'm struggling to get into.
Yes, yes. So it's a nice upmarket one. So anyway, good luck. I hope some of those comments are helpful.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Paul.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Nick, I don't often say much, but it's Gordon here.
Hey, Gordon.
Last year I made the decision I used to say at network meetings, I play with property because I've been doing it for over 50 years. And the result was sort of people get a bit interested, but not really. And then last year I made the decision to niche down to doing one thing that I understood really, really well. And since then, it took me 4 months to set it up and get it operational. But since then, I've done no marketing. My income is probably the same in the last 7 months as I've earned for the last 2.5 years. I do no marketing at all. It's all referral business, but I've niched down to just doing duplexes, nothing else. And we've just done the first handover after 10 months from when I started, and the results are phenomenal. So I'll be able to use that to get more impact in. But yeah, you're dead right, is that niching down to one thing, saying, hey, I'm really good at this, and this is what I can do for you. And
100%. And the other thing that I like about what you've just said there is that you've cut you're not spending money on marketing.
Every bit of it's been referral or repeat business from existing clients.
Yeah. And that is the side effect of micro niching, is that you can cut out a lot of the paid stuff you do for marketing. So yeah, really good example. Excellent.
You know how good I am at marketing. Nice.
Yeah. I know you spend a bit of money on marketing as well too, so I know how important that is. So in fact, your income's gone up more because you're not spending money on marketing. That's like a pay raise, an income increase for you anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I've dropped my income, might drop my overhead from about 10 grand a month down to less than 10 grand a year.
Yeah, fantastic.
Put my income up about 300%.
Yeah. Great example. Well, I'm glad you did share, because that's exactly what should happen when you micro niche. Yeah.
And I'm dealing with less clients. I'm dealing with about 10 clients on my database instead of 400 or 500.
Yeah.
But I get better quality business out of those 4 or
5. 100%. Yep. So you don't need the whole world. You only need a handful of people. And that was really the point earlier on, is that, you can really deal with a whole lot less people, a whole lot less problems. You've got more time for yourself. You're spending less money and you're making more money. All right. Any other questions, comments? I know we've just gone over time. All right, well, that is our session for tonight. We do have a prize draw as ever, so thank you for reminding me about that. The prize draw is, I have got a process to help with micro niching, to get one micro niche done. and also how to market that micro niche as well too. That is the prize for tonight. And we've got, in fact, Nicholas sort of had part of that happen for her tonight anyway. So we do have the wheel of names. So let's bring up the wheel of names. Everybody's name is in it. You have to be in the room to win. So don't disappear yet. All right, let's spin that wheel. And there it is. So a virtual drum roll, please. And our lucky winner is Dr. Chris. Are you in the room?
He's gone.
He's gone. Fabulous. So someone let him know that he would have won the prize tonight if he was in the room. All right, well, let's redraw that. I'll talk to him anyway. And our second chance today is Mary. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
How are you, Mary? Yeah, Mary's
Great,
all
thanks.
You're calling in from Hong Kong, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Fabulous. Well, you get to spend some time with me again, Mary.
Yep. It's been a long time.
It has been a while, so yeah, really good to see you. So congratulations. What we'll do is we'll organise that tomorrow and a time tomorrow, and we can organise that session together.
Okay, thank you.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right, well, that is our session for tonight. If anyone does, or if you do want to explore this further and have a conversation, just feel free to reach out to me. If you want to watch it again, or you want to send someone else to watch the video, it's up on the YouTube channel, Smashco YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. All of the links for that is in chat. So now is a good time to save the chat. It's got all the links to the apps and tools and everything that's in there as well too. Saving the chat is as simple as clicking those three little dots in the chat top right hand corner. And when you do save it, there's a link there for you to click, and it will open the document up for you rather than you having to search for it on your computer. Fabulous. All right, well, next week's topic is all about speaking, how to speak well for your business, public speaking and speaking on stage. We have an expert on that there. So I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks for coming on tonight, and have a sensational evening.